This is how my family influenced and contributed to society in Toronto, and this is especially about my grandparents from my mother's side. It all started 2 years after my grandparents got married in Pakistan. In 1974, they moved to Toronto along with other relatives. My grandparents first moved to a small house in High Park. Within about a year of living in High Park, my grandpa began to work at a famous hotel in downtown Toronto. This hotel is called the Four Seasons, and it welcomed almost all celebrities, leaders, and stars who visited Toronto. My grandpa even saw many of these famous people visit and stay at the Four Seasons while he was working there. After working at the Four Seasons for about a year, my grandpa continued to work at hotels for the rest of his career until he retired 2 years ago. Even now, in his retirement, he rents an Airbnb in some rooms of the house, which shows his big influence to Canada. He welcomed so many visitors to Canada by working in hotels for his career and now hosting an Airbnb in his own house. After about 20 years of working in Canada, he became the manager of a hotel called Super 8. It's located 20 minutes away from the Toronto Pearson Airport, making it very accessible and popular for the people that visit Toronto. Even now, in the COVID-19 pandemic, the same Super 8 in Mississauga that we worked in has 30 rooms occupied. Next, my grandma, Ghazala Kamal, also had an influence on Canada through her job. She worked for Liberty Grand as a baker. She baked cake, cookies, and several other delicious desserts for important events that were hosted in the Liberty Grand banquets. The main events that she baked cakes for were weddings, showing her contribution to bringing families together in Canada. She also contributed to making important events in Toronto very enjoyable. A great example was a celebration for the CNE in the banquet hall. Even I went to this celebration since my grandma works there, and the baking she did made it so much more enjoyable for everyone. As Muslims, one of our biggest traditions is Eid, which is the day we celebrate after Ramadan has concluded. Eid al-Fitr is also called the Festival of Breaking Fast. We go to the mosque in the morning for Eid prayer and then have ice cream, popcorn, cotton candy, and other delicious foods there. Afterwards, we usually go to one of our relatives' house and exchange gifts. There is another Eid called Eid al-Adha that happens in October and is pretty similar to Eid al-Fitr. It is one of the most fun days of the year, but when my grandparents first moved, there was only one mosque in Toronto. Now there are over 90 mosques in the Greater Toronto area, and one of these 90 mosques is run by my grandparents from my father's side. They run a big mosque called Al-Huda, which you can see in this picture. This is where we go for Eid prayers every year. This mosque helps a ton of the colossal Muslim population of the GTA by hosting prayers and other events like speeches. This year for Eid, we did something different. Since mosques were closed because of the coronavirus pandemic, we did Eid prayers in our own home. Then we had a Zoom call and opened presents that our family and close relatives dropped off at our doorsteps. Some other people came to our driveway and talked with us from a distance to say Eid Mubarak in person. It was still a very fun day, and I'm so appreciative that this is my tradition and culture, and that my grandparents decided to come to Canada and have an influence. Thank you for listening.